Hey everyone, it's Heather, aka Museum Girl Knits, and here we are with vlog post number 2. It all started with a dress. As I entered graduate school in 2001, the search for a thesis topic was on. The thesis process intimidated me. I think it intimidates most people. I had never written anything that long, and although I knew I was a good writer and a good researcher, the end result was going to be a manuscript bigger than anything I had ever produced or ever imagined producing. I knew myself well enough to know that I had to pick a topic that I was extremely passionate about, or I might not finish. So this was my problem. I was passionate about late Imperial Russian history, Nicholas and Alexandra, court society, and pretty clothes. Late Imperial Russian history had been a fascination of mine since elementary school. Social studies had always been my favorite subject, but it all came together in Miss Colford's class at Booker Arts Magnet. That year, I think 86, 87, I remember getting a pen pal from Germany, doing a report on Australia, a country I had chosen because Facts of Life had made a TV movie set in Australia, and reading a little spotlight blurb in our textbook about the murder of the last Tsar. It's the blurb that's important for this story. You remember how elementary school textbooks are laid out. Small bits of important information with lots of pictures. Well, this picture of this family caught my eye. The blurb told of their murder and the mystery of one daughter who might just have survived. At some point in junior high, I came across Peter Kurth's book, Anastasia, the Riddle of Anna Anderson. Over the next 2 decades, I became a collector of all things Romanov. I bought books on them, real history, historical fiction, anything. I watched all the movies, live action or animated. I watched documentaries, old and new. One year for Christmas, my mom bought me a beautiful 2-volume catalog of the Hermitage Museum treasures. I drove to Memphis for the exhibit on Catherine the Great. I was a little bit obsessed. So back to 2001 and graduate school. We were encouraged by our professors to look at Arkansas history for topic ideas. The reasons were logical. We were in Arkansas, and the primary resource materials would be easily accessible. Plus, strong scholarly history needed to be written about our little state. Well, logic and easy have not been my MO. When I want something, I find a way to get it. Arkansas was about as far away as you can get from the imperial court of the autocrats of all the Russias. Or so I thought. In 1999, I began working at the Old State House Museum. I was a tour guide, just about to start the public history program at UALR. My boss started asking me about thesis topics and what I might be interested in researching. Like me, she was a lover of fashion and costume. I mentioned my fascination, and she said, "Do you know about the Breckinridge gown?" In the Old State House Museum collection was the court gown of Catherine Carson Breckinridge. Her husband, Clifton Rhodes Breckinridge, had been a U.S. congressman and a close ally of President Grover Cleveland. CRB was appointed minister to Russia in 1894 by Cleveland. The Breckinridges traveled to St. Petersburg in late 1894 and arrived 3 days before Tsar Alexander III died. In this twist of fate, Catherine Breckinridge witnessed the funeral of a Tsar, the wedding of the new Tsar to Princess Alex of Hesse-Darmstadt, and the coronation of the Tsar and Tsarina, as well as the birth of a Grand Duchess. In fact, Arkansas and Russia were not so far apart after all. A quick internet search, no Google yet, but I think it was Yahoo, I discovered KCB's letters. Yes, I know that everyone wrote letters in the 1890s, but she wrote hundreds of letters from Russia to her friends and family in the United States. All her papers are in the Breckinridge family papers in the manuscript division of the Library of Congress. And it wasn't just one side of the correspondence. In most cases, her papers had both sides. Can you say gold mined? I had the dress, so I was on a mission. This would be my thesis topic. I just had to figure out what direction I would take. But research projects have many branches. So what seemed like a dead end or a bumpy road or a circle drive in 2005 might be a clearer path in 2007 or 2022. So now that the signature pages are signed and the manuscript is bound and collecting dust in my living room bookshelf, it's time to take a look at it all again. Re-examine the original answers, ask new questions, look at original sources again, and find new ones. As with knitting, this is about the process, not the project. Want to learn more? Subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.